Can you believe the New York Times putting Fannie Willis, Tish James, and Lisa Cook up there like these poor, downtrodden black women that your dad is picking on?
It's remarkable. And honestly, even worse is when I hear them every single day. Trump is weaponizing the government. Trump is weaponizing the government? I mean, Megyn, let's start with, obviously, the Russia hoax. Let's start with the dirty dossier. Let's start with, me getting all the calls from the FBI saying we had secret servers in the basement of Trump Tower communicating with, the Kremlin. Then 91 indictments, every DA and AG in this country coming after us, stripping us off the ballots of Maine and Colorado. I became the most subpoenaed person in American history. You said 107. It was actually 112. So I wish it was 107. Wow. For doing absolutely not a damn thing wrong, right? I mean, only because I was a guy who ran the Trump organization that didn't have the same constitutional protections, that my father had. They took us off of YouTube. They took us off of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They did everything they could. They deplatformed us, Shopify, everybody, the businesses. They debanked us. They did everything they could to kill us, to bankrupt us, to hide us, to remove our voice, to make sure that the family got torn apart as they're raiding Melania's room at Mar-a-Lago, as they're raiding, a 16-year-old kid's room at Mar-a-Lago, Barron's room at the time. They did everything they could. And then I get to hear CNN talk about how, Donald Trump is weaponizing law enforcement because it seems pretty clear, that Letitia James, lied on her mortgage application, did exactly what she accused us of doing. By the way, the entire penalty, as you know, Megyn, got reversed by the appellate courts of New York 5-0. But it's amazing about the Democrats. They always dig so deep that they find themselves, right? I mean, Hillary did that with Russia, right? She did that with Russia. Donald Trump is colluding with Russia until they start digging into it and they realize that, the only ties anybody had to Russia was actually, Hillary. And Letitia's doing the exact same thing. They do this every single time.
Letitia James put out that video, which I referenced in the intro. I am fearless. I'm fearless. And she referenced that absurd judgment she got in a civil court stacked with a bunch of far-left progressive New York jurors. Although, actually, that was the criminal case. This was Judge Engeron, who was even farther to the left. So she gets this verdict. And then it's so out of whack that it gets reversed by the Court of Appeals, the New York State Court of Appeals, well, the appellate division right above her, the district court. And that the whole award gets blown out. They said this is absolutely absurd. But technically, the judgment has stood for now. That's still going to go up. But she is talking about that award like it's been untouched, like it stands inviolate in this same video. Let me play it for you.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his two sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space.
Oh,
so
Lord.
Today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless.
First of all, just the drama with which that is delivered. She's an actress, Eric. She's pretending to be this strong, fierce woman who would never back down to Donald Trump. Meanwhile, she's a bully.
I'll never forget walking into her office for one of the depositions, and this law enforcement officer came up to me, this guy who had been in the office for 30 years, and he goes, Eric, I've been in this office for 30 years, and now I work for Letitia James, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This office is a national embarrassment. It is an embarrassment to me. It's an embarrassment to New York State. And I want to say I'm sorry. This is a man that literally worked for her. She campaigned on the promise and fundraised on the promise of going into the office every single day of Attorney General, suing Donald Trump, and then going home. I mean, it was widespread. That was literally her entire campaign promise, was suing him, going home, right? And her exact quote was, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be a real pain in his ass, right? He's going to know my name personally. He's going to know Tish James, right?
That's right.
Then she goes after Cuomo, throws Cuomo out of the governorship, only to run for governor 3 weeks later. Now, she had zero support and zero fundraising, and no one liked her, so she ended that race in about 3 days. But I mean, all she's ever done is play identity politics, and all she's ever done is weaponize her office against political adversaries or in furtherance of her career. Make no mistake, had Kamala won, you don't think she would be Attorney General of the United States right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that's
do.
right.
That's exactly what she wanted.
That's
no
terrifying.
different than she wanted to climb the ladder, Megyn, of being governor of New York State until she realized that she had zero support.
There's a lot to get to on this front, but I want to keep going because I really do want to talk about the book. I thought it was fascinating. It's called Under Siege. It's by Eric Trump. Get your pre-order now. We've got to make sure he debuts at the top of the New York Times bestseller list because the Times will do everything within its power to stop it, which is why it's fun. Eric doesn't really need that honor, but we want to give it to him because it's fun to make them give it to members of the Trump family in particular, but any conservative. Under Siege, buy yours today. I'm telling you, I personally read the whole thing cover to cover. It's so interesting because you get so personal about your family, all members of your family, your own personal experience in the lead up to both campaigns. Buy gold and get free silver. That's right. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group this month in advance of Veterans Day, they will send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. It's like the Cornelius purchase of gold. Silver and gold all together, thanks to Birch Gold. Look, gold is up over 40% since the beginning of this year, and Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Plus, they will send you free silver honoring our veterans on qualifying purchases. And if you are current or former military, Birch Gold has a special offer just for you. They're waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider diversifying your savings into gold. Text MK to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchases. Before the end of the month. Do it before the end of the month. Again, text MK to 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.